Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. In this video, another set of wonderful stories awaits us, so sit back comfortably and let's get started. Our first story is from a person who should definitely get a job as a ranger. Get back on the trail. Another post reminded me of an encounter I had at a national park in the United States, so I thought I'd share. The National Park Service Ranger's uniform varies a bit from park to park, depending on conditions. The uniform is pretty functional and, aside from the patches, resembles the coloring and style of outdoor consumer clothing. Form follows function. I was out in the desert for this, so I was wearing my lightweight olive green trousers, a light brown long-sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up, and a wide-brim hat for the sun. From a distance, I probably looked a lot like a park ranger, if you didn't look too closely for the patches. I really enjoy getting out and exploring the backcountry and our national parks. I have an annual Parks Pass, and one of my biggest peeves is people who don't respect the park or the land. I follow the rules of tread lightly. I always carry a big trash bag on my spare tire to pick up any garbage, and I always stay on marked trails. I was at Arches National Park in Utah, which is a beautiful area. Remember that scene from the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark: Last Crusade with the double arch? The desert's very fragile. Cryptobiotic soil holds everything together and can be destroyed with a single step. There are signs everywhere to stay on the trails and boardwalks. The visitor center has a bunch of information on it, and every map and pamphlet makes it clear that the land is very fragile. Enter Bimbo. Bimbo's probably 19 or 20, talking loudly, dressed entirely inappropriately for the climate and conditions, and generally treating the whole experience like a trip to the mall. All this is fine. It's a national park, and you have to expect that it will attract people who might not typically spend time outdoors. What really got me, though, was when she left the boardwalk and tramped out over the cryptobiotic soil to take a effing selfie. I was about 20 yards away having a conversation with someone in my group when I spotted her. I'm 6'4", and at the time I had a short beard, now a full beard, and I can have a big voice when I want to. Get back on the trail! Everyone at the trailhead looked around to see who was being a dumb butt and spotted Bimbo off in the soil, turning a shade of red close to the sandstone. Sorry. She beelined it back to the boardwalk. I overheard someone say, "What an idiot," and right in front of a ranger, too. Apparently, green pants, a tan shirt, desert hat, and a voice of authority gives people the impression you're a park ranger. And I'm okay with that, if it keeps the bimbos of the world from destroying the park. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. And our second story. Sorry, ma'am, I can't drive the lift. I work for my grandfather. We install appliances for a big hardware store that never stops improving. But we're our own company, totally separate from the store. In the morning, after we load whatever we're installing, we usually go around to the front of the store so my grandpa can talk to people in the office and I can go and get supplies or whatever bits and pieces we need for the jobs. I wear a uniform that has my name printed on the front and my company names on the pocket, but the color is the same as the store, so I often get mistaken for an employee. Normally, it's no big deal. I know where most everything is in the store, and I'm on a first-name basis with pretty much everyone who works there, so if I don't know something, I can easily get someone who does to help. Anyway, I was going to get a couple fill lines for dishwasher, and an older gentleman asked me where the garbage disposals are. I tell him they're 2 aisles over and ask if he needs help getting one off the shelf. He says yeah, so I go over and help him pick one out, put it in his cart, even give him a business card so he can schedule an install if he doesn't want to go through the store. Cue Karen. K is Karen, me is me, M is manager. Karen. Excuse me, she pressed on my shoulder with 3 manicured talons. Me. Yes? Karen. I need you to get a microwave off the shelf for me. I need it now. Me. Is it on a low shelf? Karen. No, if it was on a low shelf, I wouldn't be asking for help. Me. I'm not allowed to operate the lifts the employees here use to get things off the high shelves. If you talk to an employee... Karen. Don't give me that bullcrap. I just saw you get that thing for that old effer. Now... And I cut her off. I do not work here. I pointed to my company logo on my pocket. I helped him because he was polite, and the disposals are heavy. But they're on shelves I can reach without a lift, which I can't operate because I'm not licensed to. Karen. Bullcrap! I want to see your manager. Me, smiling. My manager or the store manager? Karen, whoever can get your rude butt fired. I laugh at this point and say, sure. I make my way to the front of the store and see manager talking with one of the cashiers and go up to him and do a big, here you go gesture at Karen. Karen, I want this boy fired now. The manager looks at me confused. No. Karen, the F you mean no? He refused to help a paying customer, insulted me, and said some bullcrap about not being certified to get something off a shelf. The manager looked at me for clarification. Me. Microwave on a high shelf. Manager, ma'am, he doesn't work here. He probably spends more here in a week than you do in a year, and he isn't certified to operate the man lifts. Again, because he does not work here. So if you need any assistance, I can have someone who's certified come and help in a moment. Karen, F you and F you. I'm taking my business to another store. After she leaves, the manager apologized, and we both kind of laughed about it. My grandfather thought it was hilarious. Ended up installing the old guy's garbage disposal, by the way, and told him about the Karen encounter. He laughed and called her a dumb bee. And our next story. Why, yes, I will come to work for your near-slave wages neighbor. Let me just get my things. Yesterday, our community had a cleanup day. We've had some problems recently with people trashing the playgrounds, leaving garbage along the streets, and just in general not being great neighbors. So to counteract that a bit, the neighborhood association organized a day to clean up those areas. There have been emails and flyers about the day for months. Everyone who volunteered had a job. Mine happened to be helping pull out and replant some plants that had been destroyed. My husband was on the same team. My team members and I had been at it for about an hour when a guy pulls up in a truck. We'll call him Raiders fan, because he's an Oakland Raiders fan. Anyway, RF pulls up and yells out the window to my husband and the guy helping him. Hubby's my husband, guy helping him is nice guy because he's nice. Now keep in mind, we sort of know RF. We're not friends, but we know him enough to chat when we're out for walks and stuff. He knows where my husband works and what he does. Not today, though. Today, though, he thinks my husband and the rest of us are landscapers or day laborers or something. And scene. RF, I'm looking for some people to come do some landscaping work around my house. I'm offering $7 an hour. Can you spare anyone? Hubby, what? RF, I need some help around my house. Can anyone on your crew help me? I mean, they can come after they clock out if you can't spare them, and they want to make some extra money today. NG, we're actually not a work crew. We're here for the community cleanup day. You should have received a flyer about it a couple weeks ago. RF, So is this like a prison thing, where you have to do community service? NG, no, this is a community service project organized by the Neighborhood Association. You're welcome to join us if you'd like to help. At that point, Raiders fan looked at nice guy like he had two heads and said, why the F would I do that? This isn't my job. I think at that point, the look on my husband's face made him really look at him, and he realized he'd been talking to his neighbors and not some random landscaping crew he can be abusive to. He suddenly laughed and said, just kidding, I'm very busy today. Thanks for helping out. Then he sped off. So let me just unpack this. 1, WTF. 2, $7 an hour to work on landscaping projects in the hot sun? You can work in the air-conditioned comfort of any fast food restaurant for more money than that. 3, there are people all over the community today working, and there are people literally 20 feet from us handing out water and getting lunch ready. I'm seriously worried about his eyes because he'd have to be blind to not realize it's a community event. Not to mention the fact that there are children running around helping. And he thinks we're convicted criminals doing community service? Sure. Little 7-year-old Timmy over there robbed a liquor store and was lucky enough to get community service. Raiders fan. Idiot. And our next story. I smell like hot garbage for a reason. I live in a small Australian town and volunteer for the local fire brigade. The local pub is just down the road from the CFA, and often after a call-out, we'll go there for a drink. After a particularly annoying fire in which a gem to our community dumped his hot ash in her rubbish bin, the crew and I walked across the road to get a beer or two and unwind. This was a Saturday, and my local pub often has people come from cities out to the country. The call-out had woken me up from a nap, and I threw on my jeans and wore my CFA Country Fire Authority polo, which I keep at the station in case the shirt I'm wearing is too nice to get dirty. The black jeans and black polos asking for trouble. But I was too tired to understand this. An older lady wearing nice clothes, you can pick up the non-locals as they dress up nice for a Saturday Parma for some reason, grabs my arm and pulls me next to the table to complain that the chips weren't good enough. I smell like hot garbage as I just had to rake through a ton of burning trash to put it out. I give her the usual "I don't work here, lady," and she seems either not to care or refuses to understand and continues to talk crap about her Parma to me. Tells me that us millennials have no respect and that I should be fired. However, the captain had just shouted around, so I walked away hoping she'd yell at some unfortunate staff instead. The bartender, good mate of mine, informed me like 5 minutes later that the woman demanded that I be told off for showing up for work smelling like crap and not helping her. She also refused to believe that I didn't work there, even though I'm clearly drinking at the bar with other stinky people and wearing a polo with the words "Fire Rescue" on the back. She eventually left and made a fuss about rude and filthy staff and that she will never be back. Good. I truly did smell like crap, though. Side note, yes, I am the guy who got yelled at during a fire in a previous installment of Old Ladies Yell at Polo Wearers. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.